Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
At the foot of the Finger Lakes, the fingernail of the Finger Lakes, whatever you want to call it, we are in Watkins, Glen International for the Precision Racing League NASCAR Cup Series, Series 3, Season 3 finale at this 2.45 mile, 7-turn road course. Some people like to call it 8 turns, but nonetheless, I'm live here, Dylan Coyle alongside Terry Radford. Terry, it's nice to have you back in the booth. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Last Sunday, so let's have a good one.
Let's certainly have a good one. I know that you're not thrilled with the way your day has been going, at least in the haircut department, but I think we're going to see a thrilling race here. Watkins Glen always provides some of the most beautiful scenic views in all of racing. And not only that, it's one of the best, if not the best, place for stock cars when it comes to road course racing. It's the last of 10 races in Season 3 for the PRL NASCAR Cup Series. We started on a road course. It has been full of road course racing. 40%, 4 of the 10 races have been battled on tracks that do not just go left. And I think that leads to a substantially interesting series, and we're not going to have that nearly as much once the playoffs start in a few weeks' time. And of course, we're going to go to the driver's standings now. Now, what you see is a 34-point gap between Trent Dinkle and Landon Mills for the title to be champion of Season 3, and we ran the numbers, and we are certain that there is no way, with 25 cars currently registered to race and Landon Mills being disallowed from racing or in taking part in qualifying, there is no way that he can catch up with 50 points, which will be his maximum number of points you can take away from this one. If he got 50 points and Trent wrecked, lap 1, turn 1, finished last. Trent is still the champion here.
Yeah, he still locks it up. It's game over. And you take a look at the team championships. That's been long decided for private label Team Hype, obviously with Trent and Abner and the rest of the teammates over there. Not a whole lot to decide here. We could see Love Racing potentially drop SGE Esports Pioneer, and other than that, it's not a whole lot of racing for that one either.
Yeah, not too much private label Team Hype. Well, they've always got the hype around them for sure. But as we kind of end the standings discussions, it's really a question about second and third, at least who's going to be on the podium and where with the driver standings. Nonetheless, we do have some partners to thank here, and that starts with Advanced Sim Racing. Owned and operated by passionate sim racers, Advanced Sim Racing designs and builds the sturdiest and most durable aluminum profile racing simulation cockpits available in the market today. All PRL members also get a 5% discount on ASR products using the Precision5 coupon code. Racebox Sim Racing. Racebox offers mid and high-end button boxes for sim racing enthusiasts, from the casual gamer up to the most meticulous sim racing driver. Competitively priced and carefully handcrafted, our button boxes are an enjoyable addition to any sim racing setup. Visit RaceSpotTV.com and get a 5% discount using the Precision5 coupon code. The Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products add incredible immersion and realism to every game. Feel every nuance and truly put yourself in the driver's seat. Mechasim Hardware. Mechasim Hardware is a small company from Czech Republic, and their goal is to produce high-quality sim racing hardware. If you are looking for high-end pedals, handbrakes, or sequential shifters, visit Mechasim Hardware's eShop right now to get you up to speed. Muradness. Muradness is a performance lifestyle brand motivated by motorsport and founded by professional race car driver Daniel Morad. For more information, visit muradness.com. And lastly, Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography. Capture your finest, proudest, or simply worst moments from your hobby in up to 8K resolution. A great addition to any sim room. We've got a few minutes left here in qualifying, but most of the drivers we expected to put in some fast lap times have already started the back half of their 4 available laps. Trent Dinkle has set a fast time. He's currently on the pole, 2/10 ahead of Abner Acosta. We're watching Joshua Daniels here. Daniels does not really do much to improve on his time. He's still just under half a second back from Trent Dinkle. And here is this Landon Mills? Yeah, he's just gonna put it right down into pit lane. Mills has not put a time because, well, he's not allowed to. We watch through the bus stop as Eric Papanow will take his laps. He has not had a timed lap yet. He might have a lot of off-track endeavors here, Terry, which is very easy to do, trying to get the most speed you possibly can at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, and for the iRacing platform, if you go, I believe it's 10 feet, and he went that way. So you lose a ton of your time to get the X in that way. And Abner, he understands where you go. You swing it out. You can use as much of that runoff to an extent as possible. And he's trying to improve on that lap time that he has down here. He's 2/10 off, and now he's just practicing pit road entry. And if that's how he's going to enter pit road, he might have an issue there, because he definitely slid it in it.
I don't know if he was trying to enter pit road in the way he's going to do. I think he just he missed that final corner. He was already a couple tenths off, and he's like, I'm gonna really angrily enter pit road and just come to a complete stop in the middle of the lower lane. As we see again, Matthew Campbell coming around the bus stop there, does not take full advantage of the curbing. Currently sat in 14th place. You know, in the pre-race chat, we were talking about Matthew and I posted in our little forum picture of the curbs at Watkins Glen. I took part in the track walk on Saturday, and I didn't realize how big and how scary those curbs look when you're not coming at speed. When you are coming at speed, they look even scarier.
And you see right there, he actually caught the curve off the exit of turn number 7. And that definitely going to slow him down there. We go back just a little bit to look at Jay McDonald. He's trying to improve on his 17th place lap. And not been the best season here for Jay. He's been caught up in a whole lot of incidents, and it just hasn't been fun. We'll see if he can figure this one out, gets through the gears, through the final corner. We'll see if he's able to improve on this time. And no.
That's going to be a no. Some of these drivers may just be using this extra allotted qualifying time. Yeah, he wanted to see the extent of the damage model here on iRacing as the clock winds down. You know, they can still stay out and practice the course as long as they want. Their laps just won't count for their qualifying time. But we have the field of 25 drivers set. 24 have 23 actually took part in practice. Meanwhile, only 18 set times. Here's the starting grid. Trent Dinkel will be champion. Once the green flag drops, he can do whatever except, you know, not get disqualified. That would be a potential detriment to his championship hopes. Abner Acosta, teammate, will start alongside him. Has a solid shot of overtaking Landon Mills for second in the championship tonight. Joshua Daniels in third, Maverick Davis, row 2. Pat Harvey will start alongside James O'Brien in row 3, Luke Christian and Bruno Mello, the top 4 rows. Chris Hudson, Bradley Moore, the top 10. Good for Bradley Moore there to see that 34 New Jersey Devils machine in the top 10. Tristan Callahan will be 11th, and Chad Kibbe will round out row 6. We keep it running down with Mike Witt, Matthew Campbell, Waldo Walden, Rachel Hunt, Jay McDonald, and Jose Medina. Your first 9 rows, and Landon Mills is the first one to have not qualified. Of course, remember, on penalty there, as well as Robert Gamble, Jose Acosta, Eric Papineau, John Jones, Tom Macy, and Richard Pruitt. Now, John Jones actually just put in the YouTube live chat on RaceSpotTV that he is watching this one and decided not to race tonight. John was pretty close at he was potentially just second off from the rest of the midfield, so would have loved to see him race. But nonetheless, that means that we've got somewhere between 23 to 24 drivers taking part in this one. Cars are getting gridded up. This is going to be one full lap of just a run around here before we get to the green flag. It's a very windy course. It's a beautiful one. You see that boot in the top left, the middle left of the screen? We are not racing that. We're racing the normal NASCAR stock car track layouts, and we're going now. This pace lap, Terry, what are the keys to success here at Watkins Glen?
Don't mess up turn 1. You mess up turn 1, you're screwed, and you really set yourself in a bad spot to get through the S's up to the top and then get to the bus stop. If you slide that one, you're not going to have a good day. There's a lot of runoff on either side. You catch the walls. You see the guardrails here. If you come through the S's, if you slide off this course or even just attempt to put a wheel out of place, catch the curb in the wrong spot, it's hard to gain the momentum back. You have a good chance of getting into there. You just don't want to go 2x2 either. We'll see potentially if Abner and Trent are going to be able to fight it out here. If somebody else is going to surprise us and come win a road course race this season.
You know, what's really interesting, and I didn't really notice until, well, that was interesting. Almost. Pat Harvey just got a 4X. Something's happening, and there's a car off track. What is going on here heading to the bus stop? So, Tom Macy might be having some connection problems right now, so we'll have to keep you updated on that. Some drivers there's already drama in the final race before we're even going, but something that surprises me about Watkins Glen is you go through the S's way uphill. You continue climbing uphill at a upward slope up the hill until you get to the outer loop, which is the carousel, and then it has a sharp decline. You continue going down. You can just see how much farther you head down the track, maybe a slight upwards tick heading to what I like to call turn 6. Some people call it turn 7. And as we have everyone head down this short shoot into turn 8, lots of passing opportunities, maybe the slowest part of the course. It's very easy to get unwound and uncomfortable on corner exit. Pace car is off. Trent Dinkle has the inside line heading into turn 1. He starts us off. Green flag. We're ready and racing in the last race of this season. Big run into turn 1, and there's a slide. 2 cars together. There's some contact. Pat Harvey is around. Joshua Daniels got loose as well. He's going to lose a ton of spots here.
Yeah, that's exactly what turn 1 presents. Is if one driver on the outside or inside makes any type of movement that can get themselves out of line, you see that type of chaos, and you see it there. And Trent was what he wanted to be, out front, clean and green, along with Abner Acosta. The crazy part, too, is there's no full course cautions unless we get a track blockage, and very, very seldom do you ever see a track blockage here at Watkins Glen.
Landon Mills just had a dream start to this race. He started in 19th. He's about to make a move for 7th, maybe 6th.
Would definitely love to see the replay of that start. Him potentially getting himself up into the top 5. And he's going to go to 6th on Luke Christian. Come from the back, get yourself up to this position. I'd be a little bit nervous if I'm Trent. Granted, he does have it locked up in the bank, but you got a guy coming in next season that potentially could he could be a serious threat.
Well, of course, the way, as Daniels goes hard on the brakes, trying to get it to slow down, locks up against the 43 car of Chris Hudson. He's all good, and we stay going. Some side-by-side racing between Luke Christian and Tristan Callahan. Hudson has a roadblock, and that is the 21 car of Callahan up the S's, and there's almost some contact. We might have 2 wide into the bus stop. A potential pass. 77 slows it down, passes the 43. 21 gets back on his horse going again, but went a little bit out wide through part 3 of 4 of what is known as the bus stop chicane, the inner loop.
Yeah, if you look right there with Joshua Daniels, he obviously started P3 as you see drivers get loose. You can't match the throttle when you're on the curbing. You have to be very, very, very easy with it. Take a look at a replay right here of the initial start. We'll take a look at where Landon Mills is. You can see him a little bit further back. I think we'll take a look at the wreck first. What slowed everybody down, which is allowing Landon Mills right here on the bottom. He's down there as Landon sets the fast time. 2 drivers get around, and see him. He's actually just gonna go up the middle. And that's what's going to give him all the spots. Everybody else slowed down in the C's part, and he went to the middle and off of 1. He was already up to the 7th place position, and now he's in the top 5. We're 3 laps in, and he came from chucking on the field to 5th.
I mean, within 2 miles, he was already in 6th place of this race. We're getting another replay here. This is
from the
Landon perspective. Yeah, he goes 3 wide, sends a bit of a dive bomb, but hey, there's room, so he takes it. Goes 3 wide of cars 2 rows in front. The synchronized spinning happens. He goes in between both Moore and Witt. Almost gets sandwiched right there. He's taking it 3 wide into the S's. That's bold going through turn 3 and then coming into turn 4. He's just got the momentum and the speed now. I mean, the C's really just parted for him, and he took full advantage of it. He's now up to 4th place.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but that ball's a steal. I mean, that's putting it wherever he wants to put it, and he had the fastest lap until Trent went out there and set the fastest lap here. So it's going to be fun. Obviously, right now he's at a disadvantage. He's going to have to make a climb. You can take a look at Maverick Davis right here doing a little John Cena action, trying to catch Abner Acosta. But if you're Landon, next season when you come into this, don't miss any, because obviously if he wouldn't have missed the first part of the season, we're talking about something a whole lot different. It would be a battle between the 9 and the 25 and the 5. Would have been a really good 3-horse fight who would have won this championship with a little extra competition in the field. I look forward to watching next season.
Gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna miss you in the booth, Terry. I always love our fights. Our fights are legendary, and they're all for play. Everybody, we are not mad ever. Have we ever been mad at each other? Now I just feel like I'm trying to say, hey guys, yeah, just playfully messing about. But nonetheless, oh man, the 43 of Chris Hudson. Currently watching him in that 9 machine. Not too many surprises up top of this field so far. If Trent Dinkle and Landon Mills were in the middle of a heated battle for points. Now, I do think there's a little bit of some animosity between them, which might show up again once everything's kind of equalized at the beginning of next season's playoffs. But if we were equal in points, could you imagine what Trent would be thinking? Thinking, oh, great, Landon's starting in the back, and everything is good to go. And then all of a sudden, by the end of lap 1, are you kidding me? He's fighting for a top 5 spot already?
Yeah, I would imagine what's going through the head of all the drivers in front of him going, wait, didn't he start last? It's no surprise that Trent started to extend this gap a little bit either on Abner. I mean, Trent came in this one with a mission. We thought he was going to miss this race, but now here he sits. He's going ahead and just taking the domination factor away. He wants no reason that anybody would question that he should have been the legitimate champion, and Landon says the fastest time this time by. So speed's in the track. I mean, 6 laps in, and they're swapping it back and forth. Granted, the championship is over. I think everybody should agree on that one, that there's nothing that the 25 can do to win this. They don't pay out points for being a hard charger. They don't pay out points for anything else. The pole went to Trent, there's 2 points, and leading the most laps, Trent catches the wall there, or Landon catches the wall there, but you pay the points for certain things, and he didn't meet the necessary requirements here.
I think we're watching a replay. Are we not?
Potentially.
I was like, huh?
Yeah, I would say he was passing James O'Brien 3.2 seconds ago.
Yes, but nonetheless, Mills is hot on the heels of Maverick Davis. He's about to move into a podium spot already. The other thing that I think is just like a come on, man moment is Abner Acosta, who's currently was hoping that he could potentially overtake Landon Mills for second in the championship this season, make it a 1-2 for private label team hype. I just don't think that's going to happen now unless something happens to Mills in this race. He is hot on the tails of Davis, going up this straightaway into the bus stop, still going uphill, has an early turn in to the part 1. Davis gets loose, keeps it together, holds up Mills' progress just a bit. Good job to get on the brakes and not tap the back bumper of Maverick Davis. I think there's no surprise that Mills is faster of the two. We look back at Chris Hudson, who is currently fighting with Lou Christian for 8th place. Mike Witt is a further 2 seconds behind them. Of course, we're seeing, I believe that's Chris Hudson. Yes, that's Hudson. With his interesting setup, he looks a little bit shifted to the left on this triple monitor setup, but I do think that's just the perspective, Terry.
I definitely love his hair. If I didn't go to an ignorant ass person today to get my hair cut, mine would still be long. But yeah, it does not look the best. And texted back and forth with me now while I call this race and literally said, sorry.
The person who cut your hair, you know?
Yeah, just said sorry. That's the weirdest thing in the world.
We've got to hear more about this. Mills dips 2 right side tires into the grass. I like to call the bus stop, here's how I call it commentary-wise. There's 4 parts to the bus stop. There's the initial turn in to the right. There is the slight left-hander while also trying to get as straight as possible and be on the brakes. That's part 2. Then the other part of the chicane is that left-hander and then right-hander to get on that 2-foot straightaway into the outer loop, the carousel. Blue Christian, we saw his onboard camera there. Mills still behind Maverick Davis. I don't know if this is more Davis putting up a great defense or Mills just kind of letting the issue reside for now. I think he's going to try and take him, though, going up the S's. Important to keep that momentum going strong here. Maverick Davis definitely losing some grip. Mills is going to really push the issue, and Davis gets forced up. This is going to be an easy overtake, I think, for Landon. Yes, he got really deep into that corner and is bouncing like crazy over the curbing. He's impressive, and we're going to see him with a little bit of clean air until Abner Acosta. It's around 2.5 seconds different between those two drivers, and Acosta is 2 seconds behind Dinkel.
Yeah, and you talk about Maverick Davis for a second. The 15 is. I'm very proud of how far he has came this season. I think a lot of people should recognize that. I think next year it's going to be a 4-horse fight. I think you're going to see the top 4 that's right now. I think James O'Brien will be okay. He just can't get over the hump of beating his teammates. Like you have just a little bit of. I'm not sure if it's not necessarily the setup or what Trent's doing different than his teammate, but every time we see it, the third man's always James. It's never he's the second or the first guy, and he's the one that was, when we get a late race restart, he's the one that gets pushed around quite a bit. And next season, I would hope that we see the 33 go to victory lane at some point in time, because he drives flawless races until we get to the very end of it, and then he just gets kicked out of the way at no fault to his own. I just never seen him push back at them, and I think that's the difference between him, Trent, Abner, and Landon, is they're not afraid to push you out of the way. It's something James is going to have to learn, and I think Maverick's going to have to learn it too. If Maverick Davis is going to run up front here in the PRL, you have to be able to see that driver be aggressive, not wreck somebody intentionally, but definitely don't be afraid to do what Trent does when he gets up there and kind of intimidates you a little bit, moves you up off the bottom lane. It's going to be fun to see. Maybe they'll watch this and be like, yeah, maybe I should be a little bit more aggressive next season, because he's got the speed. He's got the speed every week to win a race. He just then has to put the aggression level in there as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. I feel like, we were talking a little bit in the beginning, though, about Maverick Davis, and Davis had a really great start to the season, was getting some consistent spots well inside the top 10. Of course, round 3, he got 41 points, a maximum 52. You only get 52 if you win the race, you get the pole, you lead the most laps, you get the fastest lap, you lead a lap. That's a ton of bonus points on hand. If you are getting into the top 5 or just on the cusp of the top 5 every single race, you have a solid shot at a podium finish in the championship. I just don't know who can knock off that podium right now that we see Dinkel, Mills, Acosta. Those 3 drivers are, especially this year with Trent and Landon kind of pushing Trent every moment he can. Abner and Trent being teammates is one thing, but Landon kind of represents another team, so it adds some intrigue. I don't know who can knock one of those 3 off. There's going to have to be multiple bad races, and it's a very, very difficult thing to do with how short these seasons are. 10 races a season. If you make 1 mistake, sure. If you make 2 mistakes, that's points that are deducted from the total. We can't afford any. As we see a replay here with Rachel Hunt. What is going on here? That is a horribly low entry into the bus stop, and that's what happens.
Yeah, very
contact.
Oh, just a little. Just a little, but I've never seen that type of entry into the bus stop before. Now in the Oh, so there was contact being confirmed. The only time I think I've seen that entry is in the Mazdas. The Mazdas can make that because they're slower, but these cars, you're not turning those. You're not turning those on a dime like that. Just look over here with Bruno Mello. He's trying to fight here, James O'Brien, for the 5th place position. The 78's been hounding him, and Bruno's made a couple mistakes. We saw him a little while ago come out of turn 7 and slid the back end just a little bit. Wasn't able to make the run into turn 1, but you see him right here. He's stalking him going into the bus stop. I think this is going to be a real tall test. Can he get to the back bumper here coming off the exit? He's carrying a little bit more speed. He starts to close in. He goes to the carousel. Hey, he got a good big Rick run right there. If he could get him into 6, he's got the run through the center.
Yeah, he definitely has a good run here, but coming out of the corner, the run is kind of taken from his hands a little bit, but he is close enough. He's in the slipstream. Maybe a move down the inside. I think he was caught in between two mindsets right there. He didn't really get the biggest turn in he could possibly have gotten. I think he was thinking there was still maybe a chance here. Now, getting off of the final corner, up the hill to the start-finish line, and then down the hill into turn 1. It's the best place on this track to make a move, and I think he got a better corner than O'Brien. We'll see up the S's. Mello, neither of them really hitting the apex until quite late. They're running similar lines, but once again, Mello is just a little bit more off the apex. But out of turn 4, I don't know. I feel like Mello's got to run. He might think about it here, Terry. Oh, maybe a little bit too much.
Oh, too much think. He thought about it all right. That's exactly what I want to do to the woman who cut my hair today.
Do I want to know who is this person you're texting for a hairdresser? Anyway, we're seeing the 42. Yeah. Oh, big hit. Yeah, Jose Acosta spins. Not necessarily the season Acosta was hoping for. It started out so well, you know, some top 5 finishes sprinkled with some top 10s here or there, and then the middle of the season, it really just became, hey, those results, right? Like the 21 points he got in round 4 and 15 points in round 6, when some guys are getting 52. That's, you only have one drop week, and he's still in the pits right now.
Well, if you think about Jose, he had a lot of hype coming into this season because he was the winner at Charlotte to end season 2. So a lot of people, including myself, was going, I really cannot wait to see what the 42 of Jose Acosta can do. I thought coming into the season with the skill set of Abner, having his brother maybe coaching him through certain aspects, see a miss there of Tom Amacy, not having the run he wants, but with Jose, I thought for sure, I was like, you know, with the road courses, we're going to see a lot of them. Abner could coach him a little bit. They'll run together. They'll practice together. With the mixture of the ovals that we were going to see that mirrored what Charlotte was, I thought for sure I would see him up front consistently. Just haven't really seen that type of, I'm not going to say energy, but the speed that we had for him in season 3 or season 2, coming into season 3, to go up there and potentially put the show on that we were all expected. But the battle really is about to heat up for second. Landon has chopped that thing down from like 3 seconds all the way down to 0.4 of a second, catching the back bumper of Abner Acosta, and they're about 4.5 seconds behind your leader, Trent Dinkle.
Yeah, we were just watching Pat Harvey attempt to atone for his mistakes. We're still watching right now, but that difference between Mills and Acosta, it's so small as they come outside the outer loop. Whit's just going to let Harvey go down the inside here, heading to the bus stop and not even going to challenge him. So that's an easy move, one that was just given to Harvey there. But still, action going on for that second place spot, and Mills, I think, hit the wall as well.
Yeah, he's been catching the wall a little off the exit of turn number 7. He doesn't do it every lap, but he does it. He's definitely flirting with it. He's going out there and just saying, hey, I want to see how much more speed I can get. And that's something that when I tried to run some road courses, the one thing that was taught to me was use all the racetrack and use it well. There's a difference in sweeping the corner. There's a difference in attempting to put yourself in a good position. But you just never know exactly where you're going to be able to put the car, and that's something that Trent's able to do, the race leader here. He knows exactly where to put that car, how to get it into the corner. You're shifting before you brake. You start to slow the car down with the rhythmic of the motor, and then you allow the car to float itself. Just take a look right there, Bruno Mello, just slowly starting to fall back as Joshua Daniels got around him here for the 6th place position.
Mills is making a move, or trying to make a move. This is a great battle happening for a second. We're still watching what's going on a little bit further back. Yeah, with Mello and Daniels. Yeah. Anyway, we're on lap 18 of 65, and we're heading back to Matthew Campbell in 14th.
Yeah, Matthew Campbell sitting here in a 27 car. Not too bad. A lot of these drivers don't like road course racing. I understand. Not a road course guy myself. Good to see Waldo Walden and Mike Witt having a good run right here in 12th and 13th. Mike's had his struggles this season, but definitely going out strong. He's had a couple good weeks here.
Mills is Mills, by the way, is side by side with Abner Acosta right now, and I think we're actually still in a replay. Live though, they're coming on, yes, around the final corner, and Mills has made the move. Going through the start-finish line. Mills into second, 4 seconds behind Dinkle with traffic ahead.
Yeah, 4 seconds, but for Mills, we got a long way to go. We have a pit stop that's going to go out at the halfway point anyhow. I'm sure these drivers are going to want to, go right down the middle. Would not be surprised at all if we see the drivers go in about lap 32-ish. I don't think the shortcut's going to work here for Landon. I think the overcut might be the one if he's able to have some speed in the tires.
For sure, we're getting a replay here, and this is of the battle between Mills and Abner Acosta, and Acosta just kind of takes the bus stop a little bit slower. Mills pressuring down the inside, and no contact. I think Mills just got a little bit loose coming down the hill around the carousel, got down the inside to the left, and went into position number 2. Not after some battling, though, with Acosta. It went really, really interesting for a number of laps there. It was some good fun. Still 4 seconds off. We're hearing reports of a big wreck going on. Robert Gamble involved, not happy. The 42, Jose Acosta, just had a huge wreck. And someone was collected as well. Watching Matthew Campbell try and get a move done for 13th. Currently mired back in 14th. The replay as well here. And we're seeing Jose Acosta. No, Robert Gamble here with Jose Acosta. Acosta just gets loose and then just wallops back into the track, and Campbell has nowhere to go except a T-bone. I don't think that's any bit of, obviously when he goes to Acosta, but Gamble just sliding back on track. Just no intent, just not great. Meatball is given, and some toes to pit road. Campbell's still trying to make a move on Waldo Walden here for 13th.
I do like meatballs.
With spaghetti?
No, just plain meatballs.
Okay.
No spaghetti needed. I got a really good recipe for meatballs as well. I'll share it later. But meatballs
battle
on the racetrack, not so great.
How about a battle of the red and black cars right here? Tell which one's which. James O'Brien currently in front of Joshua Daniels, in front of Bruno Mello. This is for a top 5 spot, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They just all said, hey, give you that haircut, but just change it up a little bit so we didn't all do the same amount of work as they're running into the bus stop. Yeah, this is an interesting scheme battle right now. Who's got the better red and black scheme? Coming through the bus stop, some very loose. It's always wild seeing them jump over the curbs there. And we'll see what kind of run the 78 and 77 can get on the 33 here. Not much of that, as it turns out.
Well, and I find it interesting in the chat. I know we're watching the battle going on for the 5th place position. But Colton Easterday probably has the funniest thing that anybody has said in the chat, minus the spa debacle from a year ago. Trent's going to win. Bro hasn't touched grass in like 2 weeks. And if you don't know what touching grass is, it's pretty much saying that he just sat in his basement all day and played iRacing.
I mean, fair. I don't think he changes clothes from the clothes we always see him wearing. His team sponsor.
He wakes up, snorts a whole thing of powder, pre-workout that is, and then goes to the gym. And yeah, exactly. and then
the same glasses, same
he goes
hat.
to the gym. He hits the gym, clanging and banging at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then he gets on iRacing from about 8:30, probably till about 2 o'clock-ish. Probably does some more pre-workout, does the gym again 2 or 3 more hours, and then he comes back to iRacing. Yeah, he does look like PC Principal from South Park. It's like,
well, the triplets here, and by triplets I mean the cars battling.
Last one, who cares?
The cars, yeah, the championship's already locked up, you know.
Last one.
Oh man, big run for Joshua Daniels going up over the start-finish line into turn 1, but he isn't able to take advantage of it. He swings out wide just a tad, but has pretty much the same drive off the corner. We go back to Matthew Campbell in this battle going on for, oh, Campbell, look out. He keeps it. That was a great save right there, but he did lose one spot. Now is going to lose another spot to Chad Kibbe if Kibbe is able to make the move. Campbell locks up. Kibbe gives him all the room he needs to not kick him.
Yeah, he's had a lot of smoke going into 1 there, and once you lock it up one time, you're going to run into the issue of keeping those tires hot for a while, and he locked it back up into 1. And then we go back to this battle right here for 5th. Maverick has pulled away for 4th. I mean, Maverick Davis says, see you guys later. Yeah, this is it. This is all we got on the show. So if you're fans of Jose Acosta, he has retired from the server. Too many meatballs on pit lane, and he's going to go off and do something else and then enjoy the rest of his Sunday evening. Maybe watch some stuff on Peacock. Maybe he's watching the Carolina Pro Late Model Series from Anderson yesterday on Pit Road TV. Obviously, quick little plug there. Well, pitroad.tv. Maybe potentially he's watching the World of Outlaw Late Model Butt Kicker Series that's on iRacing every Monday.
What else
night.
you got? What else you got?
I got so many plugs. We'll go the rest of the night. Oh, there's another lockup there. Or yeah, maybe he is getting a Coke Zero Sugar.
Yeah, that was not organic from you, buddy.
I'll plug it in there eventually.
All right, 10-4, fair enough. Watching Bradley Moore right now, currently in 14th spot, trying to make a move, going up the bus stop entrance, but he takes a little peek, maybe too much of a peek. Almost got into the inside wall, and still right behind the machine of Waldo Walden, who has a dog on his. What
kind of dog?
I don't know.
That's all I care about.
You can find it if you look at his pit road sign. His pit sign has a dog on there.
You know, I don't load into iRacing. I thought you were going to say you could find him in St. Louis. To quote the great Nelly.
Oh, look at that! There we go.
Oh, that's a cute little dog. I wonder if we can't. I wish we could post that in the chat and ask what kind of dog people think that is.
And then, or we could just...
Is it a lab? That looks like a lab.
Or we could just have our admin just talk to him in the server, bother everybody's race.
Throw him off and ask him what kind of dog that is, so we can really be journalist here.
Anyway, so a lot of intrigue has happened in this battle we're currently watching because Joshua Daniels has made it by James O'Brien at some point in the last lap of this 2.45 mile road course, and Mello gets a little bit squirrely under throttle going over the line here. Now we are on lap 26. On lap 26, you can say these cars probably have, let's say 6 or 7 at max most laps, 6 or 7 more laps remaining of fuel.
I'm pitting on lap 32.
You want to split it in half.
You split it right in half. No sense in going over. If you're Landon Mills, I personally do not think that the undercut is going to work. I think the undercut would be stupid. Just me personally, he's faster in the long run. I mean, you're watching it here. We were 26 laps in, about to be 27 in. He's already closed it. He got past Abner, drove away by a half a second, or 2.5 seconds on it. He's closed the gap from 5 seconds down to 2.9 on Trent. I think the overcut, if he's able to put down a burner lap, like we saw earlier in the Cup race, not going to spoil it, but like we saw there where the overworked, where if you're able to stay up that one extra lap and put the same times that you're going in. Now, if he keeps losing time, I mean, he's losing time in Sector 2, and he's gaining time in Sector 3 and Sector 1, they're even. So you're not really there with him. You are practically going to need to go out there and just run a qualifying lap, one whole qualifying lap to potentially jump.
Kibby!
Kibby's going to go into the wall, and that's definitely going to knock the toe link out.
Yeah, for sure. And
backs back into the wall.
That is not where you're supposed to go. But
no ball.
He is fine. He does not have to come into the pits, and it's probably not smart to go into the pits now either, because you'd still have to make another stop to make it to the end of this race, which will go without caution. You can't go 38 laps. What?
I think you could.
38 laps?
Yeah.
At a 2.45 mile track?
I mean, absolutely. I think if they wanted to stay out to lap 35, you could. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what this strategy is going to be, because if you look up and down the leaderboard right at the moment, the only one that cares none about this is Trent. He has nothing to worry about. He can undercut this himself and just say whatever. He'll undercut his own battle. Be like, you know what? I'm going to see if I force you in. You see Landon's gaining on him. I talked about Sector 1, Sector 2. He's starting to get close, but then look here, Sector 3. He starts to pull away again. It was like 2.3, then it goes to 2.6. Lap traffic could play into a factor. He sees him. That's how close they are. While it seems stupid to be like, oh, you know, he wants faster here. Once you see it, you put that rabbit in front of you, and you see the Sector 1 time, 27.4. Sector 2, he's much faster. Sector 3 is when he gets to the line, and he's still putting down 110s. 110.5s. And you take a look here at their sectors, a 110.3, so he's slowly chopping it in. And look at that. The Sector 1 time was where Landon was beating him, but everywhere else, lap time-wise, Landon's getting beat by Trent here. They're evening out, sort of.
I also don't think there's no reason to get tires. Their lap times are not falling off more than a tenth at all over the course of this run. Maybe you get left sides, but I still
I'm not taking.
I wouldn't either.
You can. I mean, you can take tires. The pit time to fill the car up is going to be about the same. Yeah.
That's fair. Then at that point, do you, just in case there's sort of a cliff at a certain point? That was a question. I mean, I'd answer it. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm so sorry. got a call from Chatham County Jail, and now I'm kind of curious.
Whoa, wait, what?
Which one of my employees are in jail this time?
Well, keep us updated on that, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has gone off the rails.
It's the life of Terry. He gets calls from jails.
Okay. James O'Brien. Top 4. Top 5 currently. Still a battle for it, and Chris Hudson is asking to get involved. Oh, Trent Dinkle's off.
Trent Dinkle's off.
Dinkle's off, and is that Mills? Yes, Mills has gone by him, and so has Abner Acosta. Dinkle, you can't just brake check the leaders, he says, and it was with Chad Kibbe. I'm sorry, once we see this replay on screen, as Dinkle's back in 3rd, I don't think he's got much of a leg to stand on there. I think it's always up to the cars in behind to make the move safely. And they were entering the bus stop. Here's the replay. And Dinkle's claim is that Kibbe brake checks him. No, they're just going into the corner. That's not the spot you want to make a move. Trent has touched grass.
I am, yeah, and so,
I mean,
I see it from his perspective.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's a car that is a lap down, because they've had their own issues. So you expect them to not be as quick, not be as comfortable when it comes to going into the bus stop, into the corner. Just be a little bit more cautious. I think he was feeling the pressure from Landon and got a little bit too excited to make a move, and now he's back in 3rd, 3.5 seconds off of Landon Mills, the leader, and just a half a second behind his teammate.
Yeah, I see it from all angles here, and this is not what you wanted to see if you're Trent, but you're not racing for anything. Like, I get it, you're racing for the win, but at this very moment, you're not truly racing to do anything else. And I mean, you still have an opportunity to win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're on lap 32. Will drivers do what you were talking about, Terry, and just split it pretty much exactly in half and go into the pits as we're watching this battle with Chris Hudson trying to chase down James O'Brien. This would be for 7th. Currently see the track conditions, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot. It's slick. The tires are not really melting off. It's and this isn't a weird thing with iRacing. I mean, this weekend at Watkins Glen, there was almost no tire wear. It was weird. You know, AJ Allmendinger said in his post-race interview that it sounded, or it felt like he was doing Q laps, qualifying laps every single time out there, even as the tires barely wore out. So still bouncing around. We see Bradley Moore trying to get by Waldo Walden, still for position 13 in that Devil's machine and going around the outer loop. When do you think everyone takes themselves in, Terry?
I think, honestly, I mean, you could go to 35, 36. I mean, you get technically 37 laps on a tank of fuel here. You're not seeing the tire wear that I thought we would have seen here in this race. And right now, if you're Landon Mills, I think you pit whenever you want. Tristan Callahan's going to come in and work this strategy.
Mills is coming in.
Just saying, here comes Mills. So Mills is going to come in. You have the opportunity to do whatever you want. They're all going to come except for Abner Acosta. Abner's going to stay out and do the strategy that I was thinking of on the opposite side is that if you turn a qualifying lap, if you feel that you are faster than Landon Mills, if you feel like you're faster than Trent Dinkle, you take the advantage of turning a qualifying lap on these tires and then put yourself in this position to see what you can do. But he has to set down a flyer. If he puts down anything that's half-assed, he's not going to be able to take this lead and even try to close in on what Landon Mills has.
Looks like both of them are just opting for fuel. They like their tires up to temp. Mills comes out of the pits. Abner Acosta still in the lead. Dinkle now comes out of the pits. Not much of a difference in time and gap, and their tires are already up to temp, so it's not much of a problem. The biggest thing for Abner Acosta now is to see if he's able to gain any time on his, potentially his in-lap, where the difference in the stop time was Dinkle minus 0.3 seconds. Acosta goes down into the pits as many other drivers do, so this is the overcut. It's pretty much the only kind of strategy situation we're seeing. At the end of lap 34, I don't think anyone can go another lap, more than 34 laps on the same tank of fuel. But nonetheless, we're seeing cars who are, well, we're seeing Dinkle try to make some moves past Eric Papanow, who's 4 laps down. Now, we switch back to still some battling going on between, this is Daniels and O'Brien. Or, well, Daniels is actually with more red and white and black cars. Now you're just throwing puzzles at me.
Yeah, I mean,
More got loose.
I think this is going to be, this was not what Abner wanted. So Abner wanted to close in and go for the over on the one lap, and he actually lost time. He was 2 points. He was like 2.6 seconds back on that initial, and now he's 3.1 off of Landon. Barring Landon doing anything dumb, you know, I think this race is over, or catching lap traffic, and I feel like I called it because I said when we were looking at Trent that we saw lap traffic up in the way. You know, I was thinking that we were going to see it, and we did. And for Bruno Mello, that he wanted to lead some laps, get some points. You know, now it's seeding in where you're at. Right, it's seeding now where you're at in the season. This is not the end of PRL, by the way, for anybody that's watching. We're not done. We have championships all the rest of the week. We'll end the Xfinity Series at Daytona, Milwaukee for the trucks. That'll be for my final call for the PRL for at least a year, maybe 2, maybe indefinitely. I don't know. We'll figure that out down the road.
We will figure that out. Oh, there's a big off in the bus stop. There was a huge crash right in front of Trent Dinkle. Bradley Moore has had a race-ending incident.
And that would have majorly sucked if Trent got caught in that, because we'll take a look at the replay here, but take a look at Moore.
Unsure of his entry point. It looks like he didn't even try and turn back. Did he almost just, you know, take his hands off the wheel?
Well, there was a classic song in 2005 by Carrie Underwood that asked a specific being of Jesus to take the wheel. I don't think Jesus was listening to that one.
Oh,
he didn't get the memo that Moore wanted him to take the wheel on the bus stop.
So if you see a figure take control of this wheel, let's see exactly what happened. Turns right and
Not at all. No, he did not take it.
So what that tells me is that he got onto the throttle while he was bouncing over the curbs and tried to take it too aggressively. Here's another incident. Is that Maverick Davis around and Rachel Hunt?
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh goodness.
He's still got a good run. He's at 6.5 seconds up on.
Gotta keep it going.
seconds up there. Yeah, still rolling. So pretty happy there.
Well, Maverick did have that buffer in 4th place, going back to 5th place. So that buffer has been it's been fairly used up at this point, but still has that buffer. He keeps it rolling. Still seeing a lot of battling here around the carousel. Some traffic of all sorts. There's a battle going on for positions just outside the top 5 between 3 drivers, Hudson, O'Brien, and Mello. Joshua Daniels is 2 seconds, well, 1.5 seconds, I should say, up the road in 5th. He's actually been chased down pretty quickly. So starting to not enjoy life as much as he just was, but we got a 4-way battle for the top 5. And I think that helped Maverick Davis as well feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really tough road course. It's fast. You know, a lot of people whined on Twitter today about, you know, this race was boring to a lot of them. It takes skill to race around here, which is why I don't do very well.
I'll be honest, you couldn't differentiate yourself from anyone because the cars are all too similar, I feel like. But that's a problem. That's a story and a discussion for another time.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's all about who can be the best when it comes to keeping the wheel steady. And right now, it's Landon. And honestly, I think Trent would have had this race locked. I think it would have been in the bag. We would not have been talking about another driver leading this race minus the 9 if we didn't have an incident where a braking point was different. And that's something that, as the leader, I think he might have not wanted to be accustomed to. I think he was just hoping that Chad would have just gave him the line to get into the corner and not kind of, I'm not going to say he pinched him low to keep him having an entry to the corner, but it definitely wasn't an opening for him to be able to make a move that would have been clean to let him as corner integrity would have given. But he was also racing to stay on the lead lap 2. And then, you know, no big deal, no harm, no foul, but 2 drivers are there.
I saw a few comments in the YouTube live chat as we're seeing a really good battle going on for 12th right now. The was last lap, the first cars a lap down, Mike Witt and Matthew Campbell. But I saw a YouTube live chat from John Jones, actually, saying that this is a case of the slower cars not using the same brake markers going into a corner. He didn't brake check Trent. Trent just didn't account for someone slower than him braking slightly before him, which is kind of what I was saying as well. You got to take that into account. Even if there's not much damage, they're going to be a little bit more unsure going into the corner, and I think Trent was just pushing as hard as he could because he saw that delta between he and Landon Mills coming down, even more so. So I think it was just a high risk, no reward move. Yes, you would have lost a couple tenths if you waited behind him throughout the bus stop, but it's better than losing 8-9 seconds and being in 3rd.
It's risk versus reward. In the moment,
there was no reward.
Well, I mean, at that moment, you're gonna make me yell at you.
I will yell back.
If at the end of at that moment, at the end of the day, are you thinking when you go into the bus stop that person is going to jam the brakes on you? No.
He didn't jam the brakes. He was slowing up.
But that's not what I don't mean it in that way. He slowed down. It was not in the mark that he had been hitting all race long for Trent. So he gets on the brakes. He's on the brakes, obviously a whole lot harder because he was going a whole lot slower than what, Trent was going. So to me, that's, sitting on the brakes for a while.
We might have a move down in the bus stop here. We'll continue that in a moment, but Campbell, very wide entry, completely messes up the bus stop. Oh, Walden pressured him expertly there.
But like I was saying, if you were Trent in that moment, and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, cool, I'm right there. I can put an opportunity to get into that corner. You would think, and this is no shot at Chad Kibbe, please don't say nothing stupid in the chat because they're not calling him out. but at that moment, the respect to the corner should be given to the race leader. It should not be given to you going a lap down. You're going a lap down for a reason.
I totally disagree there.
You mean to tell me that you mean to tell me if Chandler Smith or somebody from College Racing or AJ Allmendinger or somebody going into a corner and they're lapping you, you don't want them to give the respect to the corner?
Are you asking me to talk about it from a biased perspective?
No, I want you to talk about it like a damn race person. Because if somebody goes into the corner and they're the race leader, you would think that the respect to the corner is given to the one who's putting you a lap down.
Well, I'd say that if I was him, if I was Trent, but as someone who doesn't have a dog in the fight,
I don't either.
Get around them safely. Like, you don't need to force the issue.
But you're already losing time to the guy behind you. You're losing time because you're behind him.
Then maybe wreck him then. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's a car there.
Because then he starts off next season with a caution point. Do you want to risk that?
It is not the driver who's about to be lapped. It's not their responsibility to think about that situation that the leader finds himself in. It's just an unfortunate spot to catch him. That's it.
So you're telling me that at no point in time would you show the, I would say, proper respect to the race leader and say, okay, let me back out of this one at this very moment and just, hey, I'm already going a lap down. I accept my fate. I'm not a road course racer. Go do your thing, big dog.
Okay, so let's spin this around real quick. So Kibby is about to be lapped. He was going up high. Sure, braked a little bit earlier than Dinkle has been usually. Well, why was Dinkle riding his gearbox the entire way down instead of just kind of putting it down the inside to make a move?
Where was there a spot on the inside to make the move?
I mean, at this point, there
was no room. If he takes it out of the bottom, he's smacking a guardrail.
All right.
Either way, he's going around.
We're going to completely disagree on how this should have been, Terry.
The chat will agree with me.
The chat has disagreed with you.
The chat will agree with me at some point in time. I know K-Dog disagreed.
John disagreed.
John disagreed. Anybody else want to disagree? That you would think that the car that goes right there would move?
It's not. It is not up. Trent needed to be more careful as the leader. End of story.
I mean, I don't disagree with that one either. But I'm arguing the point that you would imagine that the person to the outside, onto driver's left, would have been more left in that situation and not more right, sweeping into the corner. You're already, you're already going a lap down. Accept the fate. Like if you don't accept the fate, then okay, whatever. Race
at the end of the day, I'm not putting anything on the driver.
I'm not putting anything on the drivers at all. Neither one of them.
Like not positionally, but physically in front.
No, absolutely not. And I'm not sitting here saying that one's in the wrong, one's in the right. I'm just saying the respect to the leader, I feel, should have been given in that situation. Nothing Chad did was wrong. He held his line. He did what he was supposed to do. Did he slow up just a little bit extra in the corner? Yeah, whatever. That's the mark he's been hitting all race long. But there's also a reason he's going a lap down. Because he's not driving it into the corner deeper.
Okay, so why does he have to give the spot up immediately?
Well, it's not a spot, it's a lap. It's the difference. If you're racing for second, you're not pulling over going, okay, you caught me, big deal. You're giving up a lap to the race leader, the person who is in the fight for the championship, that's in the fight for the race win.
Okay, I'm not going to agree with you here. So, I'm not going to agree with you here, Terry. We're going to move on. The tire was outside the box.
You're outside the box.
Okay. You should just, make a left outside the outer loop. I think that's the direction you want to go in.
I will sit where I sit. And whether, people agree or not, do I think that Trent was the...
Wait, can we go to the battle of P2 right now? Because Acosta has totally blown some of these previous corners, and Dinkle is just flying. There was some lap traffic that both of these cars worked around, and down into turn one, Dinkle, we get his on-board view. Acosta cooks turn one, Dinkle has the run. It's just up the S's. You really can't go side by side and expect to both kind of, go faster by that point. Mills is 7 seconds up the road. He's got this locked down unless he has an issue going into the bus stop. Hint, hint, wink, Terry. Down into the bus stop. Trent Dinkle cannot go down the inside of Costa, and this is also going to be quite respectful. These two are teammates.
Yeah, and I mean, you already had to fix the damage once. You're racing a teammate, and I'm sure, at this moment, you're not pulling over for Trent going, okay, you're faster. You're racing him as hard as you want. This is a good fight. I mean, they know they're not going to catch Landon at this moment. They're 7 seconds back. There's no sense in thinking that you're going to catch him either. Barring an incident, this race is essentially, I would say, locked in the bag for the 25 of Landon Mills. He did what he wanted to do. He matches the wins. He's done everything in his power to get it done. Came from 19th up to 5th within 2 laps. It just has done everything right today. Just unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time for the 9.
Yeah, pretty much. And, Dinkle, whether, it's his fault or just an unfortunate circumstance, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. He's still going to be the champion. And there's nothing that he has to worry about that. That's a horrible bus stop entry by Acosta. Dinkle just sent it in on his teammate, made Acosta kind of switch back and pull up to the left. I wonder if Dinkle is talking on the radio to Abner, because he didn't know he was there.
Make him mad. He gets madder.
That is true. Hey, Trent is now trying to catch up to Landon Mills, and you see that gap? You see that gap, 7.5 seconds. This would be the second straight weekend that Mills has just, I wouldn't say blown out of the water, but it feels like dominance in some aspects when it comes to the road course racing, Dinkle was the faster car probably last weekend, as we get a replay here, but just could not get around Mills. And then this week, Mills just stormed through the field. A slide out of the penultimate corner from Medina, and boop. That retaining wall has had a lot of kisses today.
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. That was a bad rejoin. That scared me. Okay, so everything was fine until the rejoin. Oh, is that Davis going for a little bit of a spin? So exactly what we've been talking about, Terry, where Maverick Davis has a lot of talent and he's really starting to put some pieces together. But, I mean, the namesake, right? Like, it's hard to not to just, Maverick Davis. Maverick is a little bit of a maverick on the course where he's trying so hard, but he just loses it here and loses it there. He had 4th just locked up in this race without having to push it. He spun twice, and now it's a battle for even being in the top 5 now.
Yeah, and it's putting the whole race together. And I think that's going to be the biggest key for a lot of these drivers going into the offseason is, can you put an entire race? And look, this isn't traditional oval racing. This is the road side of things. This next-gen car was built mainly based off the schedule to run everywhere, and that includes a lot of road courses. You hear a lot of the drivers say that this is an absolute road car. It's equipped with everything you would need for something like IMSA, to throw that out there. But a lot of people don't necessarily like road. They're used to the traditional oval side. And for Maverick, he's put so many first half of races together, or so many thirds. He could get a third of a race completed, and if we ended the race then, he's second or third. But when we do the final, little bit of it, it's like, done. He starts to fall back a little bit, starts to overdrive, starts to push. You're 33 seconds back from Abner Acosta. what are you pushing for? You're not catching him. You're not catching him. Back it down a little bit. You had a 4-second lead over Joshua Daniels. You had a 5-second lead over Bruno Mello. You have nothing to prove to yourself. You have nothing to prove to anybody else. You're not catching them barring a caution. Sometimes you just got to look at the big scheme and say, okay, I don't really have to push this that hard. I have it locked up. Let's just take it home. 4th place is great. I have 3 of the best road course racers and 3 of the best PRL drivers right in front of me. It's a win. But now you're going to have to fight Joshua Daniels. You're going to have to fight Bruno Mello to put yourself in a position to even get in the top 5.
We're watching Luke Christian fighting again with Waldo Walden. These two just can't seem to get enough of each other in this race. Waldo Walden has finally seen Matthew Campbell decide that he didn't want to be around him anymore. And Campbell has gone over a second, 2 seconds almost at this point, ahead of him for that 13th position. They're running a lap down. We're watching Trent Dinkel and Abner Acosta head into I think we're still on replay right now, but going up the S's, I think we're going to cut back to them going around the outer loop. Jeopardy theme music. We can't play that. Yeah. So, well, it's hard to talk about what's happening right now when we're not seeing it. Oh, goodness me. Terry, this has been a fun broadcast for the finale.
It is, and I got, you know, I'm here for a good time. I will say, off of the top 2, Landon obviously runs for the team. It's an in-house setup that they run. I believe it mirrors what's potentially ran in Road to Pro. Also ran, or not Road to Pro, but the Coke Series. Landon has a lot of practice helping with a lot of that on that side of the things for Kevin King, and you know, being affiliated with that one. And then obviously you got Trent Dinkel, who I would be remiss if I didn't say, you know, him being a part of EPI, Race EPI, or EPIRace.com, your ticket to victory lane here, especially in the next gen car. And they're the true premier setup shop on iRacing. But Trent has found a new bit of speed. He has found something to do. He gets a lot of practice, goes out and races with a ton of buddies every single time, and he has a really fun time now, just running around, and he sets the fastest lap again. So put that back in his part.
Trent Dinkel is, I think it's just a little bit of too much too late, right? Where he's so far back at this point. I do think that we were a little bit robbed, and Rob not putting any blame on anyone there, just the universe robbed us of a really good fight for the win between Landon and Trent in this race, with Landon charging so much. But nonetheless, we're coming to 12 laps to go once Mills comes out of the final corner into the straightaway. No more pit stops scheduled for this race. In the grand scheme of this season in PRL racing, this has been an interesting race to the groundskeepers.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're not going to have to cut it for a while.
Yeah, they're pretty happy. I think that was the move, taking out some of the grass and some of the gravel. Dinkel sets another fastest time. So that fastest time from Dinkel, you know what's interesting about it? The last time on track from Landon Mills was a 1:10.207. That last time from Trent Dinkel was a 1:10.065. We see it on board the live Delta, the live timing. It's a tenth or 2 tenths quicker, but It's
look at that. Lap traffic moves out of the way for the race leader.
You really want to open it up again. That is Terry.
Slow clap, boys.
Terry. I'm not taking the bait. So Trent Dinkle still in P2. Landon Mills, the leader of the race, and not pulling any brash moves to get by lap traffic. We'll dive into turn 1. Abner Acosta in P3. If you just swap Dinkle and Mills around, you get what the provisional final standings in the podium will probably be by the time this race ends. Only 9 cars on the lead lap right now. Approximately 13 minutes remaining in this race, obviously. Just over 10 laps remaining in general. We still have some evenly spaced cars, at least fighting for a top 4 spot. And there's a lot of traffic as well. What do you say? What do you think?
Oh, well, somebody asked a question in the chat. Since the racing's gone kind of, there. What's a battle beaver? Well, I'm glad you asked, my friend Ty Stover. If you want custom things for your Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, whether it's joystick covers or controller covers, battlebeaver.com has you covered. You're welcome.
City.
Plug City, my guy.
You know what we haven't talked about yet with Watkins, Glen? And by the way, this is a great battle going on right now between Bruno Mello and Joshua Daniels. They have been with each other all race, and they are the only 2 drivers really at this moment giving us a fair shakedown at a position that carries a lot of points with it. But we haven't talked about the fact that it's the PRL Cup Series' first time at Watkins Glen in the new and updated form.
That's old news.
It's a beauty. I love. Oh, look at that. Lap traffic just getting out of the way. Isn't that what you'd say, Terry?
What?
Nothing.
I mean,
going up the S's here.
Car may or may. I'm not going to keep calling it out when lap traffic moves out of the way. I think the point was made that move. I've never changed my stance. I've never changed my stance on this. If you go watch race 1 of the PRL when it first debuted on RaceSpot, I said the same thing about the dude who wrecked the entire field at Talladega, is if you're going a lap down, get out of the way. If you don't know how to get out of the way, then don't race. It's always going to be the same. I don't care if I'm on iRacing's channel, RaceSpot channel, or if I go do something on Pit Road TV. If you're a lap down car, you're going a lap down for a reason. Get out of the way.
I think Talladega and Daytona are a little bit different. I mean, come on.
He wrecked the entire field. I
mean, yes, I understand that. And just because we're still going on a tangent with this, it's actually interesting at Daytona and the Daytona 500 this year. Do you remember at the end of the first stage, AJ Allmendinger was going a lap down, but he forcefully merged into the field and got the lucky dog. So it turned out to be a great move, and nobody was wrecked or anything. It was just like, whoa, buddy, trying to get back into this back here. That was great for AJ, and in turn, great for College Racing, and in turn, great for us. Us being me and my coworkers.
It's going to be good for me September 30th, North Wilkesboro. For the Carolina Modified Series. It's going to be a super fun time out there. I will enjoy my potential final race date before the birth of our child. And then the next race that I'll be after that one is Hickory Motor Speedway, November 11th. For my first race as a father, I will leave my kid behind and drive 6 hours to Hickory and then try to come home the same night.
Well, Labor Day weekend, I still have it marked on my calendar.
I'll be at Hickory Motor Speedway.
To see you at Hickory Motor Speedway. There are cars who are on 3 different strategies right now going up through the S's, some that are on the same lap, some that are not on the same lap. Just so much speed being carried here. Matthew Campbell just wants to get out of the way too. Just drivers really fighting for every position. The 78 just hit the wall, I think. Just barely hit that wall down the inside. This is a dogfight right now for the top 5. And in the meantime, it's helped Maverick Davis kind of atone for his second spin. And you can get a replay here of good replays. This time Macy just, I think he overshot the bus stop. Yeah, he just, I don't even think he wanted to take anything there at the bus stop, but nonetheless, coming out of the final corner, these two drivers are on lap 59 of their race. Once again, only 9 drivers still on the lead lap. Everybody else is a lap, 2 lap, 3 lap, 4 lap, 5 lap, 22 lap, 39, 40, and 48 laps, or did not start the race down. As Papanow will just slide it over the entry to the bus stop, and we get to 6 laps to go in this race. Lap 60 of 65. Mills climb up the S's. Rachel Hunt back in 18th spot, 4 laps down. She's just kind of running by herself. Walden and Chad Kibbe. Chad Kibbe in front of Rachel Hunt. So we're going to just go through the field a little bit here. Chad Kibbe, 17th, 3 laps down. Jose Medina, the 24, has had his fair share of interesting moments in this race. 3 laps down in 16th. Richard Pruitt, who didn't set any practice or qualifying time in this server, but is the first car 2 laps down. Oh, what was that? There is a 77 and 15 size crash at the final corner. Maverick Davis is around, as is Joshua Daniels. Davis still trying to get back going. What in the world happens? Remember we were talking about Maverick Davis atoning for mistakes in 2 spins, Terry? Wait till you see this one. My goodness, this is exactly what we're talking about with Maverick.
The last little bit of parts.
And an engine just expired. Joshua Daniels' engine has expired.
Hey, Bruno Melli
What
got
a
a free
shame.
spot.
We're going to see the replay here. Davis comes out of the penultimate corner fine, sliding it, tries to get on the brakes, goes into the grass, completely loses it, and then throttle up and goes right in front of the packet behind. I mean, at that point, just backing down there. Daniels runs into him, and then Daniels tries to go back up and almost hits, I think let's see who that was. And going up the S's.
Chris Hudson.
Yeah, and going up the S's, Daniels just, his engine expired. So Daniels is done. Top 5, absolutely erased. And Maverick Davis, that is a rough go for him. But we've been talking about it. He's got to put these full performances together, and he just was unable to do it here, sitting in a fantastic spot, did not need to push, and pushed, and was caught out for it 3 times. Watching Pat Harvey here chase James O'Brien. Here's another replay on board. We'll see if you can hear it. Just expires. That is a race over for Daniels. No power, tows it back. Now only 8 cars on the lead lap. Actually, make that 7 cars, as Landon Mills went 3 wide through the middle of 2 lapped cars, Davis being one of them, heading into the bus stop. That was a brave move, so 7 cars on the lead lap. Pat Harvey and James O'Brien fighting for 6th right now.
Yeah, with 3 laps to go in our season, it's really
kind of a damp way to end the season.
Yeah. I'm just going to agree with you.
Hey, this is championship was already decided. We didn't know if Trent was going to be racing in the finale or was just going to start and park it. But he said, the heck with it. I'll go into the server and I'll race. And right now it's looking like a second place finish there as Pat Harvey bounces over the curbs. 3 laps to go. Landon Mills just crossed the line. But coming out of the outer loop, Harvey gets a little bit wide, has a run, but no better, no worse than what James O'Brien's run was. The momentum going into the second to last corner. Landon Mills saying over the radio that he just had a heart attack. Oh, yeah, there was a very scary moment. Jose Medina, or no, the 924 Richard Pruitt almost wrecked him at the exit of the bus stop.
Davis has a black flag. He's going to come down the pits here.
Here's the replay. Mills is waiting to make any kind of move. But then tries to go on the attack. So right there, I mean, Mills was in a weird spot, but again, almost was caught out by the mistakes of another driver, and thankfully at least he was not trying to push too hard through there. He didn't have to. He doesn't have to at this point. 5.8 seconds is the gap. Ian Dinkle. Harvey is right on the rear bumper of James O'Brien. He has a run coming down this straightaway over the tunnel. Just doesn't decide to put it down the inside. Waits at least another lap. Oh, he got really squirrely there, Terry.
Yeah, drivers, getting ready to come to the white flag. We have two laps to go here. I would be very curious to see what Bruno Mello's tires looks like, and James O'Brien as well. All of those guys have been racing around each other for quite some time. They were sliding, through every single corner. A lot of drivers just getting on the throttle too early off the exit of turn 7. Take a look at Pat Harvey right there. He's going to take a look at the inside of the bus stop.
This is going to be...
He's got the run. Oh, he's got the run.
Yeah, but he locks the brakes up, almost hits
Contact.
The inside, and O'Brien spins, keeps it going.
Saved it.
Straight.
Maybe,
Yeah, that was,
yes.
But look at that, Luke Christian. Well, he's lapped down, so it doesn't really matter. So, just very brash moves. Nonetheless, Landon Mills is not coming around to take the checkered flag. I think we're still in a replay with him. Mills is right now, yes, there we go, coming around this straightaway over the tunnel. Going to come over turn 6. Mills has done all he can in this race, started in 19th, and he's had a fantastic season. It's going to be his 4th win here. Going to come up a little bit short in the championship, but he certainly is a force to be reckoned with. Landon Mills wins at Watkins Glen, but coming out of the final corner to move into sole position of 4th on the PRL Cup Series Championship all-time record book, Trent Dinkle wins Season 3 with the 2nd place finish at the Glen. There he is.
And that also puts him in the running to run for the overall championship for the entirety of the year next season when we do the Tournament of Champions. So big move right there for Trent.
Trent Dinkle with his 3rd Cup Series championship in the PRL. Mike Witt trying to defend Matthew Campbell. They're still trying to complete their final lap. Witt actually has really lost some speed through these final corners. I think he's going to have enough, though. Yeah, Campbell slides, almost hits the water barrels in front of the inside wall. He'll come across the line in 11th. Nonetheless, though, Trent Dinkle on your screen on the bottom right is the champion. Dinkle has 3 Cup Series championships, 3 PRL championships, and here are the results. Landon Mills comes from 19th in the field, wins the final 2 races of the season, both on road courses. Trent Dinkle finishes 2nd, once again he finishes second. It's the same result, just 2 weekends in a row. Doesn't matter, though. Still champion. Abner Acosta finishes in third. He'll finish in third in the point standings as well. Bruno Mello in fourth. Chris Hudson, Pat Harvey, James O'Brien. Only 7 cars finished on the lead lap. Tristan Callahan, Maverick Davis, Mike Waite, you were top 10. Matthew Campbell and Luke Christian, all cars a lap down. We go a little bit more back into the laps down counter with Waldo Walden 2 down in 13th. Richard Pruitt in 14th, 3 laps down, as well as Jose Medina in 15th. Chad Kibbe, Rachel Hunt, 16th and 17th, 4 laps down. Tom Macy and Eric Papanow, 5 laps down in 18th and 19th. Joshua Daniels, whose engine expired after T-boning Maverick Davis, finishes in 20th. Bradley Moore, Robert Gamble, Jose Acosta, Jay McDonald, your finishers. John Jones did not take the green flag. Well, we're still waiting for all the drivers to get into the waiting for an interview room with us here. But for a few moments, we can talk about this race. Landon Mills coming from 19th, storming his way through the field. And I think you can easily say storming. A lot of things went his way for in the first lap. He started in 19th. He did send it down, went 3 wide. He actually went 3 wide with cars 2 rows in front of his row there. But he made it work nonetheless. Mills moved up to 6th by the end of the first lap, and then just started taking advantage of other blunders, not really blunders, but just mistakes from other drivers. I mean, Landon was sending it the entire way through the field. I believe, actually, I'm not sure who's going to get the most laps led here, because Dinkel was leading a very large amount of laps, especially coming into, okay, we got confirmation that it was Landon who led the most laps. So 34 laps led versus Trent's 29 laps led. It was a close one there for a good amount of time, but of course, at the last moment, Trent made some mistakes and lost the lead. And actually, let's talk to the Season 3 champion, Trent Dinkel. Trent Dinkel, champion of Season 3. He's texting his fans right now. Yeah. He looks up. Congrats, champ. You are 4th on the all-time NASCAR Sunday Cup Series PRL championship table, 1 behind Richard Regan Jr. He just broke a tie with Abner Acosta when it comes to Cup Series, your teammate, so you're going to have that over him. He's got 7 overall PRL championships, though, so how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I can't lie, I'm minorly frustrated with that race. I don't understand why lap cars just have to ruin everything, personally. So, but you know, it's fine. I had a feeling that Landon was going to be quick in the first section, but I knew once I pit, I knew the car came alive, and so I was just trying to get to where we pit, because I'm pretty much after I got around Abner. I don't know what he was doing. He'll probably say he was just riding around, but I mean, I was lap faster than him every lap after I got into second place. But you know, somebody that's 4 laps down that should have probably just parked it had to wreck me in the bus stop, so that didn't happen. But it's all good. It was a fun race. I didn't feel super good all week here, so I was just kind of taking it a little easy, to be honest. I know I was worried to hit the inside wall in the bus stop, so I definitely was taking it a little safe, which was making the car do weird things that I was having to deal with every lap. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. We still got the championship. You know, we're in the playoffs. Abner's in the playoffs. You know, Landon's not in the playoffs. So, and honestly, next season he can do whatever the hell he wants, and I'll just be trying to pay attention to where everybody else is. So, because I mean, to be honest, I should have a pretty easy going ride into the final 4 as long as I keep my nose clean. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
So I'm actually curious because Terry and I were talking about that moment on the broadcast heading into the bus stop. So I'm curious to hear your take, because obviously you're driving the guy, the bad end of the stick, right? In that instance, as a driver, do you feel, the driver, the leader of the race, do you feel like it is always the responsibility of the car in front to kind of just let you go by? Or do you feel like, maybe, and this is kind of what I was thinking a bit, maybe it was just like, all right, I'll lose a couple tenths through the bus stop, but I'll still survive through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I more struggle with the fact that there's some people that run PRL that, and I'm not saying, like, obviously this is going to sound bad because I'm fast, but, to some degree, like, if you're not going to make an effort to better your speed, like, why are you still here racing, to be honest? I mean, I shouldn't lap somebody on pure pace 4 or 5 times. That just seems a little excessive to me. And yeah, I mean, it is my responsibility to get around him, but I mean, if you look, I broke a solid 150 meters before I normally do, and then all of a sudden he just like stopped in the bus stop, and I locked up, and I tried not to hit the inside wall, so I mean, I got away pretty clean. But then like Landon gets around me, and then Chad Kibbe's way off the track letting Landon go. So it's like, well, if you're gonna race me like shit, then you should probably put up a fight when Landon gets behind you. Same reason why I found it a little interesting that we go from 19th to 6th in basically 2 turns, but it is what it is. I don't really care. Won the championship. It's just minor inconvenience that frustrated me.
Totally get that, and actually, actually, if you look at the replay of Landon's first lap, it was actually pretty amazing what happened.
Trust me, I already watched it. That was the first thing I did when I got out of the car. I was like, because, I mean, granted, I still, whatever, he should have had it last week, but this week I was like, there's no way in hell he's going to, be on our bumper, and I wasn't really worried about it. And then all of a sudden I'm going through the bus stop on the first lap, and James was like, he's in 6th place. And I was like, what? And yeah, so, I mean, good start for him, though. That was a really good start. But, yeah, I knew I would have pace after the pit stops, and, of course, wrecked it a little bit. And then Landon is super good on green flag stops, so he definitely pulled a little bit. Then when I came out of the pits, I had more lap cars to deal with, and it was just, live and die by the lap cars, I suppose, some weeks.
Well, Trent, hey, no matter what happens, you finished second in the race. You won the championship, 2 championships in a row. Season 4's coming. Playoffs are coming in hot. Best of luck and congratulations once again. Enjoy the little bit of time off.
Yeah, and real quick, I just want to thank Private Label. These guys are super awesome. I love being here. Definitely a huge shout out to EPI. I mean, I feel like ever since I started doing their driver development thing, things have gotten a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more confident. Big thanks to Ethica. Definitely my mom. I'm sure she probably about died when I wrecked in the bus stop. Also, congratulations to my dad, because he won today at the race that I was supposed to be at. And, all the other people that I know turn in and care a lot if I do well. I definitely appreciate it.
Heck yeah, man. All right. Congrats again, and we'll see you in just a couple weeks' time.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. That was talking to Trent Dinkle, the champion, finishing second, but finishing first was Landon Mills. Let's get him into the booth real quick. We got Landon Mills with us right now. Landon.
All right.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, two wins in the last 2 races.
I'm having fun. I don't know. You asked me the question first. I don't really know where to start.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, all right, you wanna just talk? but hey, you finished second in the championship. It ends up being a 30-point gap between you and Trent, and a 31-point gap between you and Abner Acosta for second. You finished third. This season, yes, you came into PRL a little bit late into the 2023 season, so you aren't in the playoffs, but nonetheless, you feel like you can continue just picking up more wins, picking up, more opportunities to run well, and maybe next season go for a full season championship?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure racing with everybody here. Everybody races very respectful. It's just kind of understanding how it is here. So I have so much fun, so much respect for all these guys out here. It's just been really just all about having fun, and that's what I've had so far. I don't think there's been a race where I haven't enjoyed myself. So super blessed to find these people, find you guys, be able to race on a weekly basis. A little bummed that each individual season's a little short, because I definitely run a full year-long season continuously with these guys, because I sure have fun. But like I said, I kind of just take points out of the equation. It's just kind of about having fun and going for the race win. And as long as you can have a little bit of enjoyment in here and just kind of get a smile on your face, which I've had all year. I haven't had this kind of fun racing anywhere on iRacing. So it's just, it's just kind of really special, to be honest, especially considering there's some people in here who I've made some good connections with and have helped outside, in the real world of things. So just really, really happy and just proud of everybody that are putting this on, because I know it's only the beginning and the first season I'm here, but hopefully it's one of the many to come.
What was going through your head on that opening lap? That was wild. 19th.
Yeah, I don't really know. I knew about an hour before the race that I wasn't able to qualify, which it's how it goes. You pile up you make a couple mistakes throughout the year, and you kind of get cost when it means the most. So that falls on me. But figured, hey, we're just gonna try to slowly. It didn't end up going slowly. It went pretty quick, but slowly make the way up through the pack. But I guess calamity kind of happened in turn one. And I was like, everything's off, all bets are off, and I'm just kind of going through everybody. So I don't think I got into anybody, but I felt like I was in the middle of three a couple of times, which wasn't great. And I like I said, that's how it goes. But once I was able to get through some traffic, I felt pretty good. I felt like the pace was there, so it was just kind of about hitting your marks. And I thought the lap traffic was pretty consistent. They pretty much held their line, and kind of the only issue was the bus stop, and that really wasn't an issue that fell on the driver. It was just kind of a mental thing to understand, hey, I don't want to be side by side through them. I'm not going to send it. I'm just going to back off a couple tenths and have them go through it and just kind of play it safe and kind of ride out with them. You might lose a tenth or two, but especially going through my head in the last 15, 20, 30 laps, just kind of play it safe. And that's kind of what I was doing the whole race, just kind of making them do the move. They get out of the way. That's all they want to do is get through cleanly and have a good race. Just kind of understanding where the where you're going to catch the lap car. I feel like that was almost even more important than raw speed, just because there'd be laps where people would try sending it and they'd lose a second instead of just losing 4 tenths and staying on track. So that was good to see. I know at road courses it's so hard to go through double file, three wide at some points. Not to say there wasn't any stressful situations, but I feel like everybody kind of was predictable. So that's what you like to see, especially on the road courses where there's some skill gap and people are trying to learn and get better. But I sure got better as that race went on, and it was really fun, kind of just picking them off. And I must say, Dirty Air wasn't fun, but once you kind of powered through and were able to get by somebody, the car felt really good.
Well, real quick, I don't need to be real quick. Let's hear what you're doing, what you're hoping to do with the 91 car in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in a month or so.
It's funny. I was under the impression, obviously voting's closed, so appreciate everybody voting for that. That means a ton to me. I've kind of dreamed about doing something like this for a while and having an opportunity. So voting will open, or not voting, I think the announcement will be made tomorrow morning. So kind of was seeing how things would go out, if I would be spammed with text messages or emails possibly right after this race, but I guess we'll hold off till tomorrow to find out. But yeah, if I get to go, I'd most likely get to see my buddy Dylan Coyle in Texas Motor Speedway, which is pretty cool. Obviously, get to see the whole DGM team and just everybody kind of behind the scenes, which would be really cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I know I've got a good community that follows me and just is very supportive of me on the track and off the track. So everybody who I work with, everybody who I race with, I got a lot of respect for them, and I appreciate everybody, friends, family, tuning in, supporting me, whether it's racing, whether it's graphically. But yeah, I've had, especially this season, a ton of support in this league. A ton of support from my team. Just like I said, it's been quite a refreshing, enjoyable experience this season. So I'm blessed to find this, and like I said, I hope this is a long series that I'm going to keep running for a long time to come. So yeah, definitely busy right now. I'm kind of clenching my teeth right now, hoping, but hopefully it falls our way. That'd be really cool. So yeah, I'd get to see a couple buddies maybe.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, congratulations on your 4th win of the season. You've now moved into a tie with 3 other drivers for 12th all-time in the NASCAR Sunday Cup Series PRL win totals. That's of all the drivers who have won in this series. So congrats again, and hey, hope to see you battling for that Season 4 2023 championship.
I appreciate hanging out with you guys almost every week, getting good finishes. Shout out to my family watching every week, grandparents, extended family. They've been, like I said, super supportive. The team's been great, providing good setups and just solid stuff, and the other people within the league I work with. So it's been really cool. 12th all time in one season is definitely something to. I'm proud of myself for that. And I think we got 4 wins, which I think is the most in this particular season. So
tied with Trent.
Tied with Trent. He's been dominant for seasons. So like I said, I got a lot of respect for him and the rest of the competitors. But to be on the same page with him, it means something. So hopefully next season we'll go head to head again. So appreciate everybody and you guys especially.
All right, Landon. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next season.
Sounds good. See you guys.
For anyone that wants to know what Landon was talking about, we were talking about the number 91 car. He still needs to wait to hear. He's potentially having his paint scheme run on Kyle Weatherman's car, but we still have one more to go. Abner Acosta, who finished in 3rd. Let's pull him in now. Abner Acosta, P3 in the race and the championship. How you feeling?
Feeling good that's over. That was a long race. I'm tired.
Yeah, no, that's a fair feeling to have. It felt like there was just a lot going on, and none of it was good for most drivers, but it seemed like you had a fairly tame race overall.
Yeah, didn't have the pace that Landon or Trent had, but I guess it was closer than our last road course last week, so I guess, and I think I put less time into it, so I guess that's good. Still need to find more pace, but I did learn a couple of things during the race that I was doing wrong. But yeah, it was pretty tame race for me. I was just kind of sitting there and trying to increase my lap time, but definitely not enough.
Very, very fair. But hey, listen, 3rd place in the championship, podium finish in the race, podium finish in the championship. You didn't finish too far back, 31 points outside of Landon Mills. It was 61 points back of your teammate Trent Dinkle. And I was saying to Trent, he's got a little bit of a bragging right on you. He's got his 3rd Cup PRL title now. You've only got 2, but you do have him beat in the overall PRL titles. You've got 7 to, well, just his 3. I gotta see what you do next year. You're both tied at 22 wins all time in your Cup Series racing.
yeah. I mean, I can back it up in different cars. So I guess that's what I have over him. But I don't know. I like to see him in a GT3 series or something like that. See how he does. I'm sure he'll do fine. He's improved a lot. But yeah, I would like to see Trent on GT3. So next time you talk to him, try to trying to tell him to sign up, see what happens.
Copy. We'll do that. But just your outlook, and I'll let you go after this. Just want to know your outlook going into next season. Believe you're playoff eligible, so we'll see you fighting for that. You think you have what it takes?
Yeah. Definitely. I have to put in more time and do more like official races. I haven't been doing that for a couple seasons now, but yeah, if I want to match Trent and Landon, I definitely need to start racing. So we'll see what happens. This next season, it's also like busy for me, vacation and all that. So we'll see. I'm definitely gonna try. I'm definitely not gonna kind of sit there and not try. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Abner Acosta finishing third in the race, third in the championship. Well done on a good season.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Well, that's our podium finishers there. Lots to say. Not all the time in the world to say it. That's it for Season 3 in 2023. Join us at the start of next season. We got a little bit of time before then, just under a month, September 17th, Sunday, September 17th, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I believe that's what the D stands for. I might not be remembering that correctly, but nonetheless, same time, same place, same day of the week. But make sure to tune in to RaceSpotTV throughout the rest of the week, as each night we'll have championship races for all of the Precision Racing League seasons. But from myself, Dylan Coyle, and of course Terry Radford, Mike in production, Nick as well. Derek Watson's helped a few times on broadcast. I know I'm forgetting some people. I haven't been at all the races as well, but from our entire RaceSpotTV group, from the PRL group, we wish you a good night and good racing. And yes, it is Eastern Daylight Time. Take care. Goodbye, everyone.